I have 11 games that you probably missed this year. Hopefully find a few games that pique your interest. This list could be so long, there are so many cool and interesting games released every month. Here are a few games that are awesome and well worth playing. Let's get to it. Bzzzt is a very cute and wonderful platformer. If you've played Super Meat Boy, you know what you're in for. The game has 52 stages of precise platforming to master. The game has a light-hearted story that takes you through several environments. The game introduces new mechanics along the way, keeping the game fresh. This is a colorful game with a beautiful pixel art and catchy music. And when you play through the entire story, you can master every stage in both time and collectibles. Well worth a play if you like platformers. Ghostlore is an action RPG much like Diablo or Path of Exile, but a much simpler version. The game features 6 different classes with different skills. The game is structured a bit different to all other ARPGs, with a grid as the skill tree. Your character gets a bunch of skills and passive buffs to assign to the grid as you like when you level up. This means that you can buff and power up the skills you want in which order you want. There's also a glyph system that works in a similar fashion, but you want to match different glyphs into a bigger one in order to get more buffs. It's a bit hard to explain, but it's very cool and works really well. Both of these systems are really cool and refreshing, as the rest of the game is pretty much a standard ARPG. 9 Years of Shadow is a beautiful Metroidvania with a more old school art style. It's a fairly standard Metroidvania, but an enjoyable one. In 9 Years of Shadow you unlock armors that can be switched on the fly with unique traversal skills. The game has plenty of bosses to fight as you try to save the world from darkness. The game is a bit short, but don't overstay its welcome with a focused story and solid combat. Elderand is a combination between a Metroidvania and an action platformer. The combat is very satisfying and skill based with a lot of flexibility in how you want to play. There are several weapon types, magic, skills and stats to improve. The story is taking a backseat in the game and lets the gameplay shine. The game at its core is a more standard 2D platformer in how it plays, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I enjoyed the game a lot, delivering a solid experience with a lot of bosses. Hard not to recommend. Skybreakers is a simple but fun hack and slash roguelike. Here you have 4 characters to choose from with several weapons for each. Then there is 4 difficulty and an endless mode. The gameplay is fast, gaining buffs and skills as you level up. You also get to choose 2 artifacts before heading out, giving you more flexibility in how you want to play. The story is nothing special to talk about, it's basically non-existent. I do really like the art style of the game, kind of ink drawn or something like that. Very nice. The gameplay is fun as I mentioned, but it gets a bit repetitive after a while. Perfect game to play in short bursts, however. KarmaZoo is all about cooperation. Up to 10 people work together to complete a series of levels that adapts to the size of the party. There are 50 characters to unlock in the game, all with unique abilities. The game can also be played locally with up to 8 people. This is a fun and chill game where you don't have to think too much. It's a very unique experience to have 10 people working together without a chat or a voice. The art style is super cute, and even if you play this alone with random people online, you will have a good time. Worldless is a really cool 2D platformer with a turn-based combat system. The art style of the game is minimalistic, same goes for the HUD. The platforming of the game is very smooth, the combat is fun and engaging, with an action bar that lets you do more than just one attack per turn. The combat system is deeper than you think, there are several skills to learn, powers to absorb from the enemies, with parries and elements to consider. It's really interesting. It's overall a super fun experience, definitely worth playing. Shogun Showdown is a fun little tactical game where you're trying to kill the enemies that appear without getting killed yourself. It's kind of a mix between a roguelike and a deck builder. The game is also turn-based, but it can be played really fast if you want to. In the game you're trying to position yourself correctly to avoid damage and then be able to deal damage yourself, and in between move out of the way to recharge your skills and then turn the right way in order to attack again. Shogun Showdown is still in early access, but the game has a lot of content and is a blast to play. The plan for the game is to hit 1.0 around summer next year, so if you don't want to commit, definitely have it on your wishlist. Black Skylands, like wow, this game is impressive with all its mechanics and ideas that they have jammed into the game. You're a sky captain trying to protect your people from pirates and something called the Swarm. The game is played with a top-down view, the game has a great and fleshed out story, that grants you a lot of freedom. You fly around, help islands, fight bosses, upgrade your home base, your airship, your guns, find treasures, and much more. I really like the story and gameplay. Zipping around with the grapple hook is so fun. And I mean, there's a lot of content. The game is a well worth experience. Laika, Aged Through Blood, tells a brutal story about vengeance. This is a 2D action game with some light Metroidvania elements. You will spend almost the entire game riding a bike and doing combat from the bike. You're using the underside as a shield, you flip to reload, and you have a slowdown mechanic for making precise shots. It's a relatively hard game as you die in one hit, but the game features a beautiful art style with excellent soundtrack. The story is good as well. It's a bit drawn out at some points, but the ruthlessness of the main character as she tries to protect her family is worth the drawn out points. It's a fun and challenging game. I have a review for the game, link for that one under the like button. Cobalt Core is a really unique roguelike deck builder. I realized that this is a genre of game I found very interesting, as it is the second game on this list, and I have a review for Heretic's Fork on my channel, which is also a roguelike deck builder. Cobalt Core also have the twist that you're moving your ship on the X-axle to avoid and deal damage. The game features beautiful pixel graphics with a nice soundtrack. It's a really fun game, I really like it. A bit childish in its appearance for me, but it's just a minor thing. Thanks for watching, I hope you find a game or two, or maybe all of them, that you haven't played and is excited to try out. Please leave a like if you liked the video, have a great day, see you in the next one, bye.